up, everybody? It's your boy Walking Mandu, and you are watching Wrench Garage, and I am dressed very cleanly today because I am not going to be working on any cars today because this is just an update video. That's right, guys, I lured you in for an update video. That's okay, because you guys are going to love this update. First things first, I just want to thank everybody for helping me out for when I was in my surgery. I couldn't work on anything, so people kept coming by and helping me with yard work. I just want to, give a big thank you to Mr. Marco, Mr. Gunn, Teggy G, and especially my dad, who has been coming by and helping me out with just about any and everything I needed, including taking me to my doctor's visits, taking me up from my surgery, and just continually keeping me on the right track so that I don't hurt myself again. But the finger's fine. It's a little bit bent. It won't really fully extend, but it's okay. I'm about 6 weeks in, which is a pretty quick recovery so far, and they're saying that it's actually doing really good, and it looks like I'm on track to actually get back in the shop a little earlier. So thanks to everybody that helped me out, and also thanks to the doctors and the nursing staff at MedStar Medical Hospital. I greatly appreciate it. So guys, the next thing I actually wanted to talk about is the passing of my cousin Shah. He passed away from complications with Spina Bifida. It didn't have anything to do with COVID. Never really said anything about it, never really mentioned it on my channel. But it was discussed mainly through social media with the rest of my immediate family. And I just want to give a shout out to my favorite cousins. All of you guys are my favorite cousins. Fact of the matter is that you guys are the best sisters anybody could have, and you're the best cousins that I've ever had. So I just want to thank you guys for just being awesome folks and being cool, and just being my family. I loved it. I love it as well. And I'll be coming to Florida to visit you as soon as I possibly can. So now, guys, the next thing we're gonna get into is we're gonna do a little update. Try to make things a little happier and try to keep things from being, this from being a down video. As mentioned before, surgery went great, recovery's going great. I'll be back in the shop making videos as soon as possible, and I hope you guys will be there to enjoy them. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you around the little wrench trench compound here and show you some small things that have changed, and actually go through a little bit of what is coming in the future. So guys, the main reason why you didn't see me making a whole lot of videos, and actually you've probably seen like a whole rash of videos just come out, is because I was extremely busy doing customer cars. Because ever since I opened up the shop as a public mechanic shop, where I'm self-employed, it got extremely busy. So all the videos that I had for the Corvette, which I wanted to bring out as one big series anyway, just kind of ground to a halt due to all the customer cars that were coming in. And then of course, my accident. And so while I was during that downtime, I decided to go ahead and put all those videos together and put them out for you. And then when I got back in, I'd go ahead and give you guys this particular update so you guys can see exactly what's been happening since. So let me go and show you around the shop and explain a few things. So first thing you can probably see, I don't know if you noticed from before my earlier videos, that my toolbox is actually in a different spot. It is closer to the front of the shop, as you can see, making it much easier and accessible for me to be able to service cars here. And in doing that, I made sure that I put up a couple of extra shelves here. These shelves, my dad helped me put all these shelves up. My dad put this over here, and my dad also came through and power washed the floors. I know that one looks a little grimy, but that's because, all the fluids that get on the floor have peeled up all the epoxy. But, as you can see, things have been laid out in a different way. I used to have all of my engines over here. I have now moved them back here now. You can see I've cleaned some things up. The transmissions are over here. This one I'm gonna sell. This is a NV3500. And basically, this one was going to be for my Pedro project because it was a 4x4 and it was a stick shift, and this thing would have been really cool behind like a nice little V8 and just got Pedro going. But unfortunately, we already know the Pedro story. Too much rust, couldn't get it taken care of, so this has to go. And as I showed you on a previous video, here is the 7M GTE that I took out of the junkyard, which I have yet to be able to break down or clean up or do anything to yet. But that's coming. Hopefully, I can do a breakdown build video on that. Right here we have the LT1, and man, I was thinking, do you guys, maybe you guys can help me out. Do you guys think that I should put this in one of my Supras? An LT1 powered, maybe twin turbo Supra. I've seen people do it before, but I would still have to find a wire harness. I'd still have to find a decent transmission, which, you can probably use any 4060, 4080E transmission. But I do want, a 5-6 speed. But those T56s are expensive. Things are just getting really, really expensive. Even for, quote, simpler swaps, things are getting expensive. So I don't really know. So I'm thinking about just either selling this and selling that transmission, and then just go ahead and building this in my other two Supras with 7Ms. Now, you probably saw under the sheet of this thing, this is my 7M GTE that is going to be with the built internals, which are right here. These are forged pistons, rods, and everything. I want to do a fully built motor. I want to make all of the horsepower with this. So I'm not going to expose it just yet. You're probably seeing that thing right there, and you're probably seeing some stuff on my Instagram, but there's that. So as far as cars are concerned, we're going to start right here with the Corvette. And just to show you a few things that got done underneath here, you can see the fuel tank is now in. Fuel pump, I ended up making my own brackets for it. Fuel pump and fuel filter. All the fuel lines have been run. We also have power to it. We're gonna have to put those up, tuck those up a little nicer, but for now, this is where we're at. We have our secondary 30 micron filter here, going up to -6 lines all the way up to the top. We are going to have to switch out this oil pan. We did order a smaller oil pan because, as you can see from the front, that oil pan hangs entirely too low. So this oil pan is going to have to get switched out before we start driving it. It's going to need some brake work. We have all of the brake stuff over here in one of these boxes here. It still needs a lot of work, but there has been a lot of progress made. I'm gonna try to get as far as I can on some of this stuff. Basically just hooking up all the coolant stuff, hooking up all of the transmission lines, putting a bunch of fluids in it, and then at least trying to get it fired here. So those are just a few of the little things in the shop that I went through that I ended up doing. Just, rearranging some things, trying to make things more efficient in here for the customers, and also trying to come up with good, interesting yet affordable ideas that I can do for builds for the channel itself. And as you can see out here, there's the two Supras, and we also have the Durango out here. Remember the Durango, guys? I remember the Durango. Here's the Durango. Well, let's just say that while I was working on a customer's car, I let him borrow it, and when I gave him his car back in great working condition, this one came back on a flatbed. Nobody's fault, nothing like that. Just kind of happened that way. So now she's parked in the corner. Turns out she needs a transmission rebuild, and it's having and one of the coolant lines blew off. Doesn't seem like that serious, but it's really hard to be able to get those things taken care of with everything going on right now. But we're gonna get back to that. I'm gonna get to that as soon as possible. I did have a video where I found out that the main reason why this thing was driving so poorly as well is because of the tires were different sizes. But as you can see, there's brand new tires on here, and I actually recoated these things with more Plasti Dip, which I hate Plasti Dip, but I didn't want to spend all that time removing it, so I was with the if you can't beat them, join them kind of team. So I went ahead and just resprayed them again, brought them back to black. They don't look bad, but I'm probably not going to keep this guy unless I just keep it for like, just a crazy rig or something like that. Let me know what you think I should do with this thing. Should I just sell it? It's got a 5.9 in it. Should I do something stupid like turbocharge it? See what happens? I don't know. You guys let me know. So yeah, you guys, one thing that you don't see here is that the Scion is missing. So I ended up selling the Scion to my buddy Eric. He really needed it more than I needed it. So yeah, I had to do that. So now I'm currently looking for another daily, or I'm gonna have to make me a daily. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think that's a daily right there? Because I know the easiest way to do this one would be to just take the engine out of here, which runs really nice, and I know that one has is suspected a blown head gasket, but that one has all the nicer, prettier parts on there. This one's just the older one, but it runs better. So the idea was to kind of just pull both of these out and use the engine and transmission out of this one, so I can make this a 5-speed, but it'll still be NA. Or I was going to build the other 7 MGTE and stick it in here and have a turbo Targa 5-speed Mark III Supra, which is, I think, would be dope. But it probably won't be a daily. That would probably be something that I'd either sell, and if I could, I'd do a giveaway on it, but I don't know. I just have no idea. So the next update I'm going to show you is underneath the car cover, but I'm not going to undo the car cover. I'm just going to tell you what's underneath it. But of course, what you remember from the last couple of videos was the painting of the engine bay of this guy, and as you can see, it's been sitting. It's got some dust and some pollen and stuff on there, and it's kind of just had to sit outside for a little bit as I was trying to make a little bit of money inside the shop. So this one is actually on hold for just a minute. I don't really know what I want to do with it just yet. However, we're gonna have to do something. So that's just a quick look on what's going on in the wrench trench compound. I'm just waiting for the go-ahead from the doctor to go ahead and be able to actually to go ahead and get back to wrenching and use full force on my hand and just continue to do the things I love. If there's anything that I've learned from this injury, is that time is finite, and not only that, your ability within that time to do things is also finite. Things can change in a heartbeat in your life, and if you're physically and mentally able to do things, do it. Don't mess around. You're too young, too old, that's all crap. Get done what you truly desire to get done, especially if it does good in the world. So just be kind. Just don't forget that. Just don't forget circumstances in life can change very quickly. I mean, I know it's just a finger, but that was enough. That was just enough of a warning shot to me to say, hey, look, if you're gonna do something, go ahead and do what you need to do. I said all that to say this. If you're a customer of mine and I've worked on your car and I don't get to your car in the next, I don't know, 2 to 3 months, it's because I need to go ahead and build my own dream stuff. I need to go ahead and finish some of the things that I started that I truly really want to do before it's too late for me as well. Before something else happens or anything else happens. Not that it's going to, not that I'm wishing it, but those kind of things can happen. And with that, I gotta let you go. My dad's here. I will see you next time. You guys keep wrenching. Wrench, wrench out. Peace.
Now I remember your smile and look up at the sky.